Hello everyone and welcome to Snacky Bun's channel. I have my Christmas mug in front of me right now with my tea. We're well into the holiday season and I'm reviewing a Christmas movie, TV show today. So I thought that this would be appropriate to have my Christmas mug. And it actually insulates the heat pretty well. So it's actually pretty useful too, not just aesthetic, which is nice. But anyway, we're reviewing Santa Inc. Santa Inc. Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, it's an animated stop motion TV series on HBO Max. It stars Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman. So if you haven't heard of it, that's what it is. And if you have heard of it, my guess is you likely didn't watch the show. You just heard about it on the internet because it's been circulating on the internet how bad the reviews have been of this movie. They're so bad that I even heard one article, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they said that this was one of the lowest rated shows, Christmas shows, ever produced. And that's really bad because Christmas shows and movies, for the most part, are shit. So to have a shitty Christmas show, ooh, that's bad. So why did I choose to watch this if I knew the reviews were this bad? Well, I thought it was going to be a win-win situation for me because on one hand, if the show turned out to be really good and funny, then I'd be pleasantly surprised because I'm already going into it thinking it's going to be terrible. And then there's B, the other outcome, where it's a terrible show, but I get to suffer. And sometimes I enjoy suffering through really bad TV, videos, any type of video medium. And that's probably why you guys watch my TikToks, or at least some of you. So anyway, the result was the latter. I suffered through this because it was really bad. Those reviews are quite accurate. It's a bad show. It wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. It's impressive in the sense that stop motion animation takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort. They had a lot of artists, working around the clock, I bet, to make this. And not once throughout the whole production period did someone say, "Hey guys, I think that we're going in the wrong direction here." The humor, humorless. I mean, pretty, didn't have any humor that I could see. What the humor was, if I could describe it, is to make a comparison. It would be like talking to a middle schooler who just learned the words shit and fuck, and they think that by repeating shit and fuck over and over again, that each time they're going to get a reaction from everybody, and this middle schooler thinks it's very funny, very shocking, and very cute to just repeat these words for the sake of repeating these words. And that was it. That was Santa Inc. I think the producers and everyone involved thought that if Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman were to say something foul, even though there wasn't any thought put behind, the joke, it was just them saying foul words, that was sufficient. That was sufficient to keep people entertained and to get people to laugh. And they were very wrong in that. assumption. So I think it's pretty well established by this point that the show was really bad, at least in my opinion. And there's only so much you can talk about the show before it just starts getting redundant and really uninteresting. But I want to talk about something that I do find pretty interesting, and that was Seth Rogen's reaction to the bad reviews. And for those of you who don't know, after the bad reviews came out, Seth Rogen responded to those reviews by stating that he and the other creators of Santa Inc. had pissed off tens of thousands of white supremacists. And this statement rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because it appeared that Seth Rogen was deflecting from the fact that he just made a horrible TV show. And my understanding is this. Look, were there likely anti-Semitic remarks in some of the comments? Absolutely. There are nut jobs all over the internet, and I see these types of comments everywhere, and it's unfortunate. However, are you really going to believe, and I really don't think that Seth Rogen actually believes this, that tens of thousands of white supremacists have banded together in order to tear down this movie and to tear down his career because it was just so controversial and so provocative? No, that's, come on. You know, that's really implausible. This is the reason that I believe he made this statement. This was his last ditch effort to get people to watch his show. I mean, we're talking about 1% or 3% of people who actually like the show, you know? So with those low ratings, who's gonna watch it except idiots like me? So the perfect way to get people to actually watch it is to make it seem like it is actually really controversial, really provocative. And it'll spark people's interest in the show. And I think that's really the reason why he made that statement, is to get people interested, to get them to really see, oh, why would it piss off, you know, all these white supremacists? It's bullshit. No. Look, how should he have reacted? Because I see a lot of people saying that he should have accepted the fact that the show was shit and came out and said that the show was awful. You can't do that. I mean, you got advertisers, you got all these investors. How about the poor artists who worked on the show? It's not their fault that the comedy sucked. I mean, there's just so much work that goes into stop motion, and you're gonna tell all those people that worked their ass off that this show was terrible? No, you can't do that. But this is what you can do, and this is what celebrities used to do. When you made a really bad TV show, a really bad movie, you just stop talking about it. Because if you stop talking about it long enough, and eventually people will forget about it, and you can move on and do something good, and it's over. And unfortunately, he had to turn around and blame the audience. And you know, this type of reaction to, you know, where these celebrities will, instead of going the route I just explained, of, you know, letting a bad show die off, and having this other reaction, the other reaction, which is to, you know, conclude that there must be something morally wrong with you if you are not on board with our work. This whole mentality it's been, you know, stirring pretty frequently, and I'm not really sure why that is, why this keeps on occurring, why these people believe that they're in the positions to preach to us. I honestly don't know. My take on it is perhaps these people are insulated. They're in a bubble. They're not really exposed to the real world. And they're surrounded by people that tell them that they're great all the time. There's rarely anybody that challenges them. There's rarely anybody who is honest with them. And so when you're stuck in this bubble, it's as if you grew up in an isolated village, somewhere like out in the sticks. There's a likely chance that you're going to be equally as ignorant, and unfortunately, very, very arrogant. And that's what's been happening, and that's why I think it's been happening. And then you have the media, access to social media, so now they can, divulge their thoughts to an audience, a big audience, 24/7. And also, they get criticism from people 24/7. And a lot of it is just mean, and it's not fair. I do admit that. But I think a lot of them are not adjusting well to this new age, because before they would speak on a talk show, and they would speak on a talk show for a 30-minute slot or whatever. You'd see little bits and pieces of them, and now it kind of seems like they're always on the spotlight, and a lot of them are not reacting well to criticism from the public, and they react very defensively to it, and so that's kind of my take on what's going on. I'm not going to sit here and because I've seen some comments say, "Oh, Seth Rogen was never funny." Come on. I mean, sure, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't believe in a lot of you guys, because he did do stuff that was funny. His last movie that I thought that was really funny was This Is the End. Thought that was a funny movie. I like Pineapple Express. It was silly, it was goofy, but it was funny. Superbad, all the maybe they're a little outdated now, but they were really funny, and it was very new and creative at the time, and I appreciate that work that he did. All I can say is I hope he gets out of this funk. I hope he, walks out into the real world sometime, and kind of gets his head out of his ass and makes something good again. That's all I wish, because I would like to see something good by him, because I do still think he's made funny works, and I'd like to see that again. But anyway, right now, unfortunately, we have Santa Inc. That's what we got right now, but hopefully that changes. So. Well, guys, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching, and until next time.